Welcome to the quantum crypto portion of quantum feedback, where we're feeding forward into the field our energy, our finances, so that those finances may have a magnifying ripple effect as the quantum financial system is born in the decade of disruption. So let's dive in to quantum crypto. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to quantum crypto. The date is the 11th of February, and we are going to dive into the XRP historical price chart and try to look at the patterns to see historically when XRP is moved and the kind of shapes and formations that it does in the charts. So let us go back. We can see here we've got the whole, the history, the 5-year history, I suppose, of XRP right here. And let's go back. We're going to go back all the way back into this point in time here before XRP actually did this price move, and what the bear market actually looked like before it actually did this massive run up. And we're just going to have a look at all these different charts here and try and just see the patterns of what's going on here. So this is kind of like XRP. It's forming this kind of like, essentially it's just going flat and sideways for a long time. Here, since 2014, 2013, all the way to 2017 when it actually made its move. So there was a big 4-year consolidation period there, which, probably just coincides with Bitcoin, essentially, the 4-year cycles. So as we see here, we draw this little wedge. It actually pumps up like pretty significantly. It does a 40x, so it goes from roughly about 1 cent down here. Well, depending on where you started off from, but the range is half a cent down there, up to 40 cents. It tops out at 40 cents, or 39 cents, roughly. So that's like an 80x, and depending on when you buy. And then we do this thing again. We actually range. We're just got this triangle formation happening here, this parallel channel kind of thing. And it just really consolidates for a bunch of time. And this is really what we're seeing. It's very similar, this pattern that we're seeing right now in the charts for XRP. So let's have a look. Let's go and check out what the similarities are. I'm not going to go into super technical analysis here, but as you can see, we've done the run up, and then it has bumped down, tested it, kind of like M bottomed here, and then pumped up again, hit the resistance of this trend line that we can see right there, and that resistance then made it go down again, pumped up a little bit, and came all the way back down. And then essentially it did that again, and then it bottomed out finally, until it finally recovered, gained strength, wicked down to these lows again, wicked down there. A couple of days later, it went skyrocketing. So, and it all fell within these triangles here, with these asymmetrical triangles. It all fell within that zone. So, I've drawn out the triangles there. You can see not quite to the tips of all the wicks, but taking an average wicks, and then I've got multiple lines there just to show you, what the different, trend lines are. These are just trend lines, and, that's really, this trend line that kind of hits all these confluence points, and we're just looking for touch points. The more touch points there are, the better. Like this trend line here, it's an amazing trend line, and that trend line just really just takes the is the bottom of the chart. So maybe that's what we're sort of looking at here, is another sort of bottoming scenario as we zoom into today's chart. And we'll have to zoom out a little bit here on the iPad, and then let's look at the chart here. That what's setting up to try and get a gauge on how long this could take, and what kind of price action we could see. So like before, we hit our actual we hit the high of 2021, and then we've come down, W'd out of there. All right, hit this trend line, this descending trend line, and again bottomed and hit it again, and then we've come down again, and this is just this long descending wedge to retest, essentially this bottom here. And this bottom trend line seems to be pretty solid at this point. So that should hold, that's what we're looking at to hold. XRP is just, coiling up per se, because a couple of scenarios that we have here, and I'll kind of draw them out, and chart's going to get real messy in a second, but draw them out, is really, one scenario is we can come back down to this level here, and then hit back up in there, and then shake around up, and then we head up to $1. And that would bring us up to $1.20 actually, but essentially testing this trend line here, which is a bigger trend line. Now, if that takes place and the world is not ready for XRP yet, XRP will continue to be boring, and it may even be so boring that it goes wah, wah, and tests these trend lines again and forms another little higher low until it gets further down into this wedge, and then actually then blows off, and takes off. So we're sort of looking at that kind of a scenario. I think the $1 price point is the hold, is the sort of like the median that we've got here. So as soon as we break $1, we're kind of like in that crazy bullish territory where, anything could happen. And it could sort of, at this point in time, we are just at the mercy of this whole market. But if you look at this asymmetrical triangle that is building, it looks like it could be extended for some time to come. Because as you can see here, we're looking at these dates, and, this is May. This is the end of May, June. So, it might come back up to $1.20, and we, who knows what this market is going to give us. But essentially, we are forming structure here to blast off into the stratosphere and surpass the all-time highs of 2018, to actually get into the price discovery mode, which is somewhere where we haven't been in a long time. And this is kind of like, this is the ultimate sort of zone here, I suppose, which is, coinciding with the last all-time high. And, this is what we're all kind of waiting for. This is the price action that's to come. We're all moving into the unknown here with cryptocurrency regulation and central banks and all the different behind the scenes mechanisms with the lawsuit and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting time. Just wanted to give you guys a little deep dive into the price chart of the past, and what XRP has been doing. And, and if we wanted to draw some, price percentages here, we could quickly look at that and, figure out what the price movements of this crypto has been in the past, which you can do yourself, but I'll show you how to do it. We'll go to price range here and click this one, and we'll just draw down from this, where this asymmetrical triangle finished. And I guess we'll draw it to the top. That was a 12,000% increase. And obviously the world wasn't ready for XRP yet, so it didn't hover up there for very long. So there's really another video that's coming out where I'll be talking more about our exit strategy, my exit strategy, what I'm looking for, what I'm looking to do, and how I'm looking to time the market as best as we can as this great reset rolls through. And, we'll see a lot of carnage and a lot of red days in the stock market and all these other indexes and, charts, really, that measure that gives us a guide on where we are in the space, and when is the collapse coming. It could be, it's building up, and it looks like it's gonna come very soon. So anyway, that was it. That looks like a beautiful chart. It's beautifully setting up for another massive monumental move. And whether that comes down like this did in the past or not, whether we have a utility bull run, which is what we haven't experienced. We haven't experienced what these protocols mean for powerful institutions like banks and central banks. What do these internet protocols mean? XRP, Stellar, these protocols are going to become, a fundamental part of the internet, and they're just weaving in all the piping, all the actual, the rails, the payment rails, that's being weaved into the background as we speak. And they've been doing it over years. So it is going to be really interesting to see what happens as we kind of move through this period of reset and of calamity, and who knows what's going to happen. But essentially, at the end of the day, what we do know is that these protocols are revolutionary technology that's going to change the face of how we use the internet. And Web 3.0 is basically all about being able to own a part of the actual internet. And that's what this is all about. That's why there's so much distraction out there and so much noise in the crypto space. And it's also really important to understand what you own and understand the technology and how it will shape the future. So that's my little rant for today. Hope you enjoyed this little deep dive into the past, the history of XRP's price chart, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.